and welcome to the David Tomsic Show, fighting tyranny one day at a time. It's Friday, April 25th, 2025. I'm so glad you can join me today. It is the weekend, or the entrance to the weekend. I hope you have a great weekend planned. I wanted to go out with my last video of the week with a bang. I'm going to talk about empathy. Wow. Not something we hear a lot about today. Sadly, in America, it seems to be a waning virtue, empathy. We don't have it. And we don't see it from our government, from our president. Now, empathy, according to the Webster Dictionary here, is the action of understanding, being aware of, being sensitive to, and vicariously experiencing the feelings, thoughts, and experience of another. Wow. That is something we don't seem to care about anymore. It's us versus them. And if you followed me for a while, you realize I talk a lot about us versus them. And many people in certain groups who you'd think would know better use empathy the least. Now, I have an article, and I'm going to read this. This is going to be the crux of this message. It's from basically a website, Public Orthodoxy, and it's from a guy named Dr. George Demokopoulos. I hope I pronounced that right. I apologize to you, Doctor, if I didn't. Now, I've talked about how people have taken sides in this country, how we found enemies everywhere. And this is something that I believe is something we've been taught. It's indoctrination. It's programming. We've been taught to, like in many countries that wanted to have a leader take power, he found an enemy to throw his wrath on. And hopefully others would join him and attack those people, giving him awesome power, great power to control the fate of that country, to purge those people that should not be there, that are the problem, that are the reason for all the problems they have. So empathy didn't exist in Nazi Germany, that's for sure. And I'm sure it doesn't exist in many other countries today. But in America, you would think, us being who we say we are, if we are who we say we are, would look differently upon it, but we don't. So this article is called Trump, Musk, and the War on Empathy. Boy, that's all guns blazing right from the start. While we might look in vain to find an initiative of President Trump that doesn't fuel the progressive outrage machine, Christians of every political persuasion might want to take notice of something his chief advisor, Elon Musk, said in a recent interview. Defending cuts to various government programs and humanitarian efforts, Musk told Joe Rogan that the fundamental weakness of Western civilization is empathy. Oh my Lord, where did we find this guy? This is the guy you want in control of your Social Security number and your Social Security checks. And those people tasked with protecting us, with providing our country and its citizens services. This is the guy? Oh. How far off the reservation did we go with him? Has the Trump administration effectively declared war on the most significant contribution of Christianity to Western culture? Does it not realize that empathy is one of Western civilization's greatest strengths? Will any Christian supporter of the administration publicly criticize such an outlandish claim? And the answer to that is no. I have heard none of our Christian leaders condemn this. This should be something that's over the top, that leaders from every walk of life should be challenging. You hear it? Silence. What Musk and Trump don't seem to understand is that there might be no greater force for good in the modern world than the millennia-long Christian commitment to empathy. To be empathetic is to imagine oneself in someone else's situation. To be empathetic is to feel the suffering of others. To be empathetic is to respond to that suffering with concrete action. Since the advent of Christianity, empathy has motivated remarkable innovations and social progress. Christian empathy led to the creation of the first hospitals in the world. Christian empathy eventually led to the abolition of slavery. Christian empathy led to the formation of institutions that care for the elderly and orphaned. These developments did not originate out of nothing. They were practical applications of the Christian theological conviction that all humans are created in the image of God. The same Christian theological principle provided the ancient seed that would sprout the modern era in the form of Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Civil Rights Movement, and the mobilization for gender equality. Why have Christians always understood empathy to be a virtue? They do so because Christ modeled perfect empathy, the doctrine of the incarnation, God becoming human in Jesus for our salvation, represents the ultimate act of empathy. In Matthew 22, Jesus declares that the commandment to love our neighbor is second only to the commandment to love God. And in Luke 10, he offers the parable of the Good Samaritan. In the paradigm of neighborly service, the hero of the story tends to the needs of a religious cultural enemy. Rather than being a mark of weakness, Christians have always understood empathy to be a sign of strength. Since the age of Constantine, empathy-driven initiatives have strengthened Western civilization. In addition to the creation of government-sponsored safety nets, late ancient medieval and early modern Christian societies benefited from the empathetic legislation in other ways as well. This is because empathy creates bonds of obligation and reciprocal care that form the bedrock of strong societies. Empathy engenders mutual respect, which in turn provides the foundation for justice, progress, and human flourishing. Okay, that's a pretty good article, and there's more. But I wanted to give you an idea. And because so many Christians voted for Donald Trump, you would think they would expect this from their leader, from the President of the United States. But in fact, we have the opposite. We see it time and again. Now, Elon Musk telling Joe Rogan that the fundamental weakness of Western society is empathy couldn't be more damning for the Trump administration, because we've seen this time and again. These tariffs that are destroying American businesses, American families, destroying the global trade system with sweeping tariffs that are hurting countries all across the world, destroying 80 years of American progress in keeping the world together. This shows no empathy for anyone. So today I pray that everyone shows a little more empathy towards their neighbor, towards their fellow man. I don't believe, like Elon Musk does, that empathy is a weakness. I believe empathy is a strength. It's something Jesus promoted. Be the Good Samaritan. Understand that these people that now are targeted by this administration are not our enemies. They're people that we are ordered, that we are commanded by Jesus to love, to help, to reach out to. And in that, won't our country be stronger? Won't it begin to heal? That huge divide that now exists, isn't that a way for it to heal, for it to come back together? I believe so. But it starts with each one of you. Hey, it's all the time I have. Enjoy your weekend. God bless you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Go over to our sister channel, Nights Around the Fire. Watch that video. Enjoy it. And again, God bless you. And I'll see you next time right here on The David Tomsic Show.